I sent some links in the chat. So meanwhile, you can just look around those. That's the mostly agenda for today that we'll be discussing about around MCP custom actions and the kind of things we were able to accomplish with that. Like I can show you the slides. Um, Yeah, one of the users said that they were now able to send emails and do phone call transfers directly from chat interface. So when I saw this today at like 8:30 p.m. my time, I was like, okay, let me try this. And I did try that, but I'll show you the demo of how it went. But this did open up a lot of possibilities with MCP custom actions. And Marco will be showing a lot of things. Hi, Marco, around these things. So any tool that has an MCP server either under OAuth or having some API tokens or free can now be connected with our platform. And it just opens up the new possibilities of anything you can basically imagine. So yeah, that's the gist of it that we are going to show you today.
Right.
We'll just wait for 2 more minutes for people to join and then we can start with the presentation. Also, for the people present here, I was curious to know, like, did my blasts or last minute channel tags make you join this call, or it was added to your calendar that made you join this call? Because I'm not sure from which medium people are coming on time.
I think from my side, it was in the calendar. So receiving your invite and then just activating
The
via
email.
email.
Okay. Got it.
I got an email 1.5 hours ago.
Yeah, about the reminder email that Luma usually sends.
Yes.
Okay, got
Yeah.
it. Okay, Slack notifications. Okay, one person Slack notification. Okay, yeah, about that calendar invite with repeating meetings, we had like I had in advance 9 developer office hours scheduled, and this is the last one on that series. So I need to create another recurring events for that. So I'll show, yeah, Thomas, I'll make sure to make it a recurring invite. Thanks. Well, great. I think we can start. So we'll just try to wrap up this call within 30 hours, sorry, 30 minutes, because in the past we have seen sometimes the conversations go too long and people were not able to have proper Q&A answers at the end. So this is the basic agenda. Some normal welcomes, quick update, product updates with the product, and me and Marco will give you a demo of the custom MCP actions and then ask us anything the last session of this call. So yeah, about recordings, as I always say, the recordings are there. It will be sent to you by email and on the Slack as well. And yeah, if anyone of present people have not yet joined our Slack channel, so just feel free to scan this QR code and you will be redirected. I think most people must have, but still, it's a good thing to just let them know. Okay. So from the past dev office hours to this office hour, it's been about 2 weeks, and we have some improvements over the past 2 weeks. I'll not be listing everything, but the major things where we now have a custom SharePoint file picker, which is available to users on demand for people having issues thinking their SharePoint files. So currently this is on demand only, but after we move this to a stable version, it will be available for all. So that's one of the major improvements in the last 2 weeks. And now we do have the document analyst queries and end user file upload supported via API. So this was one of the requests by a community member to have those via APIs as well. So that got added. And we also have a new endpoint /users/search team members for team owners and admins who were having yeah, for team owners who are having a lot of team members in their, you can say, custom GPT profile or platform, and it was a bit hard for them to maintain it. So this new endpoint might make things easier for them. That was one of the major improvements. And yeah, now let's start with the regular updates. So I would like to give the stage to Mike. Sorry, Marco. I'm sorry.
Yeah, hello everyone. So I'll talk a little bit about custom MCP actions, which I think we already mentioned before, but now we have them properly up and running, and I'll be showing you demo of some use cases here. So what is possible now is basically to connect any MCP server that is either free or uses token verification. We don't have OAuth yet. And these servers can be used for basically make your agent do anything, like retrieve information from some other source, like web search. It can communicate with some other agent, including our own agents, and it can execute some actions in real world or basically with some other service out there. So I will now share my screen and show this in action. So
Yeah,
I have,
yes, in this.
do you see my screen? Cool. So I have three actions here added. One is this agent, other custom GPT agent, which has some basketball knowledge base inside. There is one with web search. It uses one of those services for that. And there is one that is connected with my Zapier account and Google Calendar. Right now, you can add up to three to your agent, and you can only have one active at the time. This is something that will be expanding soon, but right now you can use just one at a time. So this agent that I will be demonstrating has just some our knowledge base, basically our support site and guides in its knowledge base, so it doesn't have any, let's say, outside knowledge. But I will first try to use web search. And let's say, can you tell me about, I don't know, I'm ready. And it now uses this action. And for some reason, it's because AI being AI, it right now failed, but I can try again. And now it managed to fetch some information from web search, basically. So for all these actions to properly work, what you need is to do some persona work, explain AI how to use it, when to use it, and so on, which I didn't really do for this demo. So it can be a little erratic, as you've seen, but that's something that also we'll be working on to out of the box improve. But this tool basically called web search. Let's now use basketball agent. That is this one here that has some information. Basically, it has NBA website ingested. And now this action is active. I'll ask him, tell me about LeBron James. It's probably better if I reset the conversation. So it found information here. And what it did actually, it made a query to this agent here. So this first agent provided this response. And then this agent got that response and used it to create an output. So in this way, you can make agents communicate with each other, chain agents, and basically have some sort of multi-agent setup where it can retrieve information from some other place. And finally, I will now go to activate my Zapier calendar, and you'll see this is my calendar for next week. So I will ask it to book something on Tuesday.
Well, I should say that's a pretty kind of empty calendar you have there, Marco.
It should be here. Give me event. So something went wrong here.
Well, there might be issue with your internet, I think.
I mean, it did work a few minutes ago. But basically what I did here, I went to Zapier. I connected my Google Calendar and used their MCP server and basically just copied that link that they provided there here. It is literally 1 minute setup. So now let's see what it is. So now it added it here. So as you can see, it is little inconsistent. It is in beta still, as the whole MCP technology is on its own a little bit unpredictable yet. But this will in very, very near future enable a great number of use cases and basically connecting agents with different tools out there with different agents and building very complex workflows with just a couple of clicks.
Marco, is there a cap on number of actions that can be added? Like, I can see
Yeah,
6.
so these 3 are built-in actions. They are not custom MCP actions. You can add up to 3 MCP actions. Right now, you can have just 1 active at a time. And the agent can, in 1 query, make up to 3 calls. So I can ask it to add 3 events here, and it would be able to do up to 3. If I ask it to add 5, it will not be able to add last 2. We will, after some more battle testing, the feature enable more of them, enable more calls in 1 query, and most importantly, enable more of them active at the same time, which will enable to, in the one same response, fetch information for one place and do
Mhm.
something with that on some other place.
Just to
Okay.
confirm, I'm able to have the document analyst on, and I can add in one other that would be for an external, either another agent I have or something else.
Yes, but right now you cannot mix them. That is coming in next few weeks.
Thank you.
If anyone else has any questions about these MCP actions, now maybe the time. So, or we can move with few more demos.
Marco,
There is
a question from
Okay.
my side. With the MCP, is it to integrate almost like Zapier does with other applications and to provide some agentic activity? I'm just trying to understand like what's really the key difference between the MCP versus the normal custom GPT process.
So MCP is basically a protocol that enables agents to communicate in the manner that they all can understand. Basically, it's API for AI. And for this to work, you need some other party to have MCP server built for their service, which a lot of them have right now. Zapier has, which unlocks the possibilities. We have also, which enables connecting other agent here. And how it works in practice is that when you go to that service, like Zapier, maybe I can find it here. Yeah. So this is my Zapier account. I added my calendar on this first tab and then came to this tab and just copied this URL here and added that URL there, and it worked. So that was the only configuration needed. And I just approved it to use my Google Calendar before. So you need this server, and that is provided by whatever service you want to use. And then you just copy the link here, maybe our token if needed in this field. We will also soon support OAuth because some of the services require that. So this is very, very simple, but still highly experimental technology. So it sometimes might fail, sometimes might work. We'll be adding, what we want to do is basically build kind of responsible agents that like we did with hallucinations initially. We are now trying to build them that they use these tools in a controlled manner. So if you want it to use in some way, in some cases, you describe that in persona, you can here choose, do you want user confirmation before calling the tool or not? We'll be adding more options and guardrails like that, so that whatever AI is doing, it is doing what you asked it for. Right now, it's still a little erratic, but we'll get there soon.
Thanks.
So basically, if we
There-
have 10 tools added to Zapier, then all those 10 tools can be queried via this Zapier MCP, right, Marco? Like you just added Google Calendar.
honestly, I don't know because I didn't play that much with them. Like here, yeah, I can add multiple tools here. So they will be on the same link. So it will be up to AI to decide which to use. But I didn't really try that yet. And that is the important thing here. So one MCP server, one link can have multiple of these actions on itself. Like for example, this basketball agent, you can retrieve how many documents there is inside, or anything that you can do with our API, for example. So when user asks something, it's up to AI to decide what exactly should be used of this available tools or actions. So there are some questions in messages. So first, can you change the action for it to search the web automatically if not in knowledge base? Yes. I mean, it generally did that here already, but I have this very simple persona that tells it to do exactly that. If you don't have context in your persona, then you must use the Observe tool. But this persona is very, very simplistic. It should be provided with more instructions. And that goes to the next question from Ted. Basically, with these things, you want to describe it exactly when it should use the tool. So in this case, you will explain it that it gets stuff from the context. If it's not there, it should use that tool and maybe give some cases where you don't want it used and so on. But we will be trying to add some basically guides, how-tos, best practices to our website to help with that.
Give a thumbs up. Great. Marco, one more question there was from Thomas. Do we have the link for API document analyst guides yet? I'm not sure about that.
We do. I can send them in comment.
As it was recently added to the APIs. So
But yeah, this was everything I prepared here. So Priyansh can continue
sure.
unless there are more questions.
Great. So I sent a link in the chat as well. So you can go ahead and use this awesome remote MCP servers to try and add those into our let me go actions. Yeah, inside of these. So I added a few like Cloudflare docs, custom GPT, Google Drive agent. So this Google Drive agent is one of the other agents that I used inside of this agent. So that thing that Marco called as like agent chaining or agent calling. So this is my Google Drive agent. It had information about something called as Secure Guard Pro. And I asked the same question to my other agent by adding this custom GPT, Drive Google agent, and it answered. But I can show you how it did answer. But let me go to ask. Okay, before that, yeah, the secure part thing. So when this was turned off, it's when I asked it about secure guard, it said, sorry, I don't have an answer. But when I turned it on and I asked the same, it did answer. So Marco kind of covered this already, but I have one more thing to show you. Like we got this notification today that they can now have the chatbot send emails and do phone transfers. So it got me thinking, let me try this myself because up till this point, I did not try it. And when I did that, let me show you how things went. Yeah. Then I asked it to use this MCP and call the representative. So it kind of asked me the phone number initial message prompt thing. And it said, call this number. It is an Indian number. And it said, okay, calling about discounts. And then it said it had some issues with the phone number provided because of network restrictions and geo restrictions. But the good thing about that is I was able to get a call history recording in dialer.app that it actually made the calls, but due to geographic location restrictions, the call was not successful. This got me thinking, and the reason why I'm showing you this partial half-baked demo is because once they add, maybe the restrictions are gone or things like that, the possibilities can be mostly anything, any tool that has MCP client, be it calling, emailing, or setting up calendar that Marco showed you, or going in Amazon and buying specific things. Those things can be like more or less possible with us right now. This was one of the phone calls using the direct API. You can check ahead and see what all other APIs or what all other MCP servers you can try. You have Asana, AudioScript, Atlassian, Canva, Cloudflare Workers, and a host list of things. So we don't have actually official documentation entailing all the MCP servers that we currently support because it's still in very much beta. But this is a good place to start with. Once we have a stable release of it, to launch a proper documentation of what to set up, how to set up, and which all things we do support. So if you want, you can just go ahead and try all these open MCP clients and play along with it. I have also tried with Cloudflare Docs. It is where it is. My Google Drive, actions. So let me show you that about a dialer thing. So it's can let me give this a dummy number. Now I'm inside the dialers post tab. Ask the agent about custom GPT discounts. Yeah, I will say it's calling for discount information. So it's actually hitting the MCP of dialer and trying to make a call. But of course, it won't be able to make the call directly. And we have two entries currently here. If I refresh this, we have third entry, the number, the dummy number that I added. So if you are in US or in UK or wherever this dialer has its own services, you can use this and pretty much make the call instantly by just asking the AI to do that. So yeah, it seems to be an issue. That it's a half-baked demo as I showed you, but the possibilities are infinite and feel free to try it out. If a dialer is not free, by the way, it costs around $5 to begin with. Their pricing is a bit non-consistent. They are still trying to figure out how to get their paid offering, but this is something to play around if it's something that you would like to have in your customer support or things like that. So yeah, that's the wrap up from our side. If you have any questions about it, please hit it up. Now the question hour begins, and all the links that I showed you will be sent to you by emails along with the recording of this call. And yep, it's good to see so many people joined us, and thanks for attending. So yeah, Per has a question. Please go ahead, Per.
Yeah, I just wanted the setup you showed where you had access to your Google Drive. Well, what's
Yeah.
the difference by just connecting to your Google Drive and looking into that data and then putting an MCP server on top of it? Because
You mean
right
to
now
say,
yeah, that one, yes. So what is it you want to achieve by doing that?
so if I add custom GPT's Google Drive agent, this is the name of the agent. This is the second agent that I have, my Google Drive agent. So
Okay.
yeah, one agent was able to talk to different agent. We're using
Hmm.
this agent's MCP server. So I can go ahead and go and deploy. You'll see something like MCP server beta. So I use
Okay, yeah.
this MCP URL of this server to add to that agent. And now those both agents can talk to each other. So that was the basic difference.
Mhm. Okay. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, sure, Diego. Thanks for it. Yeah, I think we are around hitting 30 minutes. So as I said, we'll try to wrap up pretty quickly, save everyone's time. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask, or we'll be back again. Yeah, we'll be back again with more demos 2 weeks from now. And we also have an MCP. Let me just share it with you what I mean. So we have an MCP AMA coming up on 25th of okay, business or MCP AMA. Wait, events page. So we have an MCP AMA for you guys that will be on 25th of September, 2 p.m. ET and 11 a.m. PT, which we are joined by, if I can zoom it on, Michael from Microsoft and Arjun from Pinecone, along with Santiago, and of course, Auden will be there. So if you got time, feel free to just book us MCP AMA. Yeah. If this interests you, do join us for this. It's going to be excited. We were joined by Microsoft before, sorry, Pinecone before as well, and now we have someone else from Pinecone as well. So yeah, that's exciting and open to questions. Okay, I think people are good with it. So, fair doctor. I'm not sure if I can pronounce Morgios. Sorry. Okay, good.
Yes, that is correct. Nice to meet you.
Or you can also let us know what things would like to see on the next DevOps hours. We can prioritize that as well, if there is anything.
I think it's very beneficial to see various demos where you try to make things work the way you see it right now.
Sure. And most of things are derived by what customers ask us to, because that's what they need, and Marco takes care of that to build according to how their use cases. So you can
Mhm.
thank Marco for that.
Thank you.
You share a link where you explain how to connect, for example, the MCP document analysis with API.
Okay. So, Marco, you want to take
Yes,
this one?
so I sent the link in the chat, but
Okay.
basically, as long as it is enabled on the agent, which you need to do in UI right now, you can just, there is in that messages endpoint, a simple new parameter file, and you can put a file there, and that's it. Everything else is taken care of.
Okay.
You mean to say if this
Uh,
is on?
Yeah.
and just with these files, if you send the same file again, it will just take it from the memory, and it will not go again into analysis or something if it is there already. So
Got it.
Will there be some processing time? Suppose I upload a document right now and upload a like 100-page PDF files, and I ask a question. Will it be able to answer instantly, or we might have to wait for 1 minute or so?
with 100 pages, you will not get the entire response. Right now, we are limited to about 4,000 words.
Words.
That will be expanding soon. Everything longer than that would be cut off, but it takes some time. You get feedback during the process, so you know what it's doing exactly. But depending on the question asked, depending on the length of the document, it can take a couple of dozen seconds, maybe. If it's short, then a lot less. Depends.
Got it. I hope that answers the question. Okay, so we'll just wait for 1 more minute and call it a day if people are happy with this presentation. Oh, let's.
Look, I think it's something new, and as you say, it is still a little bit exploratory. So, and I can see that from the that list that you showed. Obviously, you've got main stakeholders that are involved that have set up their MCPs, but in terms of potentially connecting to clients, servers, I don't know if they have yet considered MCP or what they're using, or if they've set up an additional element, because I think that would then obviously impact on integrations. But I think there's some really useful elements, especially being able to drill down into closed user groups that may, you can access more kind of like proprietary or member-based information to bring that over.
Right. So like around 2 weeks back, we were able to connect our RAG to internet via MCP in a reliable manner. And then today we were able to make calls using just chat. So I'm not sure, like after 6 months, we'll see everything mostly connected to everything else via MCPs. So you kind of see just as beginning of a curve, which will go up and up and up and up, and maybe reach a place where everything is stable on the MCP front. And like, let's see how it takes us in the MCP world.
And Priyansh, why do people like MCP? Why are we seeing a greater adoption in the market?
So if I have an MCP, I just have to use one link that big company like Zapier has maybe 100 of connectors that you build there. You added Google Calendar, you added email, you added maybe Zoom calls. So now if you want to make Zapier do something, you have to open Zapier, click on things, add meeting, blah, blah, blah. But if you have an MCP provided by Zapier, any tool that listens to MCP, it can also be your ChatGPT, Cloud Code, or Anthropics or Gemini. So you just add your Zapier's MCP inside Gemini, ChatGPT, and ask, go to my Zapier and set a meeting for 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. with a dentist. That makes it so simple to interact with all the services that Service X has offered because they have an MCP for it. So that's why it like kind of everyone is like, there was one Twitter quote: there are more MCP connectors than MCP users.
Yeah, so basically what MCP does and what is this magical part there is scaling, because before you can go and you can take Zapier API or whatever service API, and if you want your AI agent to do something with that, you need to go and code all the tools, handle all the cases, and everybody who builds their agent would need to do for that the same thing manually for themselves. But now Zapier just built their own MCP server, and anything all of us have to do is copy that link, put it there, and it works. So it saves a lot of time on development end and makes combining things very easy. And we are just starting to see that going into production anywhere, basically because the technology is a couple of months old. And as Priyansh said, like more tools than users, but definitely is going to, in the next few months, enable a lot of very complex workflows.
So we have Anupam with us. He leads the tech side of CustomGPT, and he raised a hand. So Anupam, go ahead, please.
No, I was just trying to say that MCP is trying to standardize how LLM interacts with outside tool or data sources. That's what MCP is all about. So, for example, if you want to connect your Google Drive to like an LLM powered bot, you will have to write custom code just to do with Google Drive. But then now you want to also connect your SharePoint or some like Dropbox. Then you have to go again, deal with Dropbox API and build that connector. What MCP is trying to do is standardizing this way. So now you can search for like a Google Drive MCP server, connect that to your LLM. Google Dropbox MCP server, you connect that to your LLM. And the only thing is you have to configure your account with these servers, and then it will seamlessly connect with your LLM agent.
So MCP was made by Anthropic, and Gemini was OpenAI and Gemini were kind of not ready to adopt it as a standard initially, but now all of them has support for MCP. So now they see, okay, this is a standard we should all follow. So that's how it's going to standardize. And yeah. Okay. And I think this was a productive session. We'll do more of it in the next 2 weeks. I'll send all the invites to the people, like in the fashion we usually do. And about the recurring thing, we'll set it up as well. So thanks all. Thanks, Marco. Thanks, Doctor. And Pong. Thanks all of us to join. Yeah. It was great.
Thank you very much.
you.
Thanks, Priyansh. Thanks, Marco. Take
Thanks,
care.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Yeah,
Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye, Mauricio.
Bye-bye.
Hello, everybody. Hello.
Bye-bye.